What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So we are officially doing the first video in the new garage. Now I'm going to be doing two different projects throughout the next couple days, so I'm going to be going back and forth between the two. I'm trying to make use of my time as best as possible. So for instance, if I got to take the bumper off, I'm going to test fit the other bumper while I have it off. Just makes sense to do that before I start sanding on it again. But in this video, we're going to be talking about something that I've been wanting to do for a while to this car. Fortunately, it's not the wide body. I know. I think I just felt all of your hearts break when I said that. And I apologize, but I got to get the bumper done first before I can do anything else for the wide body. Anyway, this video is going to be about intakes. So we all know that the factory airbox system for the 3.7, with a little bit of freed up airflow with the intake tubes and some DryFlow filters, does more than enough for this car. Mind you, the 3.7. We also know that short ram intakes, also known as hot air intakes, do not do anything for performance of the car, but they help the motor sound nice on acceleration. Some people like that purely because of the sounds. Some people don't care so much about the performance aspect. So the plan is I want to build my own hot air intakes, but convert them also into true cool air intakes by putting the filters in the front grille. So let me go ahead and show you what I'm working with, and we're gonna get started. There are two basic sizes of intake systems. You have a 2.5-inch system and a 3-inch system. The differences between the two: with a 2.5-inch system, you can install it on the car. The ECU will automatically adjust the airflow to calibrate for that extra air that's coming into the system, and the car will still run at its efficient level without a tune. With a 3-inch system, the moment you put it on the car is going to require a tune to run efficiently. I have no intention of tuning the car anytime soon, if at all. My reasoning for building these intakes is to show, one, that you can at a less cost, and two, to free up some space in the engine bay for other projects I have planned in the future. So to make my 2.5-inch intake system, first I'm going to be starting with the short ram system that people like to buy just for looks and sound. Now they pay around $300 for that system. In front of you, along with the silicone intake tubes I have in the car now, you're looking at about $190 worth of parts that can go in the car, produce that same short ram intake system for less money. In order to achieve this, I purchased these MAF adapters. They're 2.5-inch inner diameter piping. The MAFs already fit. They're for the 3.7 liter, so I know they're good to go. And these will mount directly to my silicone Z1 intake tubes that I paid $75 for. Now, if you can get them used like I did, you can save some money on those, as those are around $110 new. Also, you can go on eBay and you can buy the 3.7 liter silicone tubes from two other manufacturers that are off-name brand for around $70, $80 for the set. I purchased these clamps to hold everything together. The pack of 4 off Amazon were $10. These were $54 off Amazon. And to help assist me in the installation, I bought an 8-inch tube of the silicone coupler. This is going to be used for something a little bit different than what it's intended, but I'll explain in a second. To get the air into the system safely, we're going to be using these intake filters right here. These filters are AEM replicas and at a significantly less cost. The two filters together only cost me $36 off Amazon. Now, links to all this stuff will be in the description for if you want to do this, you can. And the price may vary depending on, when you see this video and what the markup is, but the links will be in the description for you to use. In my quest to build this setup, I learned a lot about intake filters. And the primary thing I learned was that they come in a 3-inch inlet, and that's the most commonplace size of the inlet. You can get them bigger, but it'll cost you more. You can get them smaller, but it will cost you more. To get a 2.5-inch inlet, I would have paid twice the cost I did for the filters, and they wouldn't have been the filter style and size that I wanted, which is this one right here, the AEM canister replica. It is built damn near identical spec to the AEM, all the way down to the mesh that the filter is actually built from. So in my, again, search for this stuff, I was trying to figure out how I was gonna get my 2.5-inch piped, which is around actually 2 3/4 on the outer diameter, to fit comfortably inside my 3-inch inlet of the filter. So as you can see, that does not work. Then I saw something on Amazon on a really, really cheap filter set where they were using silicone strips to go from one size up to the next size. By cutting this down into strips that will fit on the end of these MAF adapters, I can then take this, place it inside the tube, and I'll be able to cinch this down flush mount and fill in the gap that was missing originally. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this into 1-inch strips and apply it to just the one side of both of these adapter plates to fill the gap between the pod filter and the actual MAF adapter. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out, get this set up, and get these short rim intakes put in the car on time lapse. Once I validate and verify that all this stuff gets in, it fits, it works, and no check engine lights happen, then we'll move into building the second part of this intake kit, which is to make it a true cool air system. And that's what this box is for. In this box, I have a series of straight and curved silicone couplers and nice satin black 2.5-inch inner diameter piping. This whole entire box is a universal intercooler kit. It was $84 on eBay, but with a coupon, I got it for $72, shipped to the house. So this is gonna come out a little bit later after I get these in the car and working and ensuring that they are functional as is. Once I make sure that everything's good, I'll end up painting these black and clear coating them in either the 2K gloss clear or the 2K matte clear. Just depends on what's available at the store when I go to pick it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started cutting the silicone strips and getting them onto the MAF adapters and getting that all prepared before I pop the hood. All you need to do is use a 10mm. There's one here, and the other one is right under there, as you see right there in the box, in the little hole there. And then if you have the factory intake system on, there's a clamp right here that will hold the upper piece. So now, we'll go ahead and take this, I'm gonna plug it in, I'm gonna reverse mount it so you can't see the MAF anymore, and then reinstall it in the Z1 tube and see what we're looking at. So as you can see, with the clearancing, the MAF is hidden, it's up underneath, and it's not being hit or in the way of anything. It's not gonna bounce or hit off of any of the body components or the car itself. The filter has plenty of clearance, and if this was painted black, this would flow and seam a lot more smoothly. The silver is not really terrible because after all, you know, the engine bay is silver as well. So there is one short ram done, and I'm going to go ahead and kick over to the driver's side, do the same steps I just did on this one over there, and then I'll bring you back to the actual video once I have both installed and we can go ahead and crank the car up and see how they function. That was a lot easier than I expected it to be. In fact, I didn't use any of the clamps that I bought for 10 bucks, so I could actually take $10 off the cost of this, but I will still put them in the description because I purchased them for this project as is. So I'm gonna go ahead and crank the car up and we'll take it around the block and see how it runs. Well, no engine lights. Idle is slowly creeping back down as it warms up. No issues with the setup so far. It's not running any differently. No engine codes, no lights. Which, you know, I expected as much. I didn't think that doing this would cause any issues, because I mean, they sell kits like this for twice what I paid to install mine, and they work and function on the car just fine. But you never know when it comes to doing stuff on your own and experimenting with parts that you've never used before. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish driving around a little bit, and when I get back in the garage, we'll talk about what's next. Well, I spent about 10 minutes driving it around, and so far, it sounds as good as I expected it to, which is a given. It's why people usually run these intakes. For what they are, they look pretty nice, if I say so myself. The price point is right where I want it to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and run these like this for the next couple of days, and pending any issues, I will pop back in at the end of this video and explain them. Otherwise, if you're seeing this video right now and at the end there are no complaints, then you know that it went well. So with that said, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you are interested in seeing where this intake evolves into the true cool air, tune in for the next one, because it will be coming shortly.